Although it's kind of a secret at the moment, it won't be for much longer. Battlefield 2042 has Levolution moments. For example, a radio tower on top of a building here on the Kaleidoscope map has the potential to topple and take out enemy vehicles and players along the way in spectacular fashion. So how do you do it then? Well, it's connected via 4 cables that are cemented into the ground. If you use explosives on all 4 of them, they will snap and send the tower crashing downwards. Pretty cool. Now there are a load of other crazy details in this game that I thought we'd take a look at today. And a big thanks to Nvidia for sponsoring this one. We're playing and recording in 4K with ultra settings using Nvidia Reflex and
the Google prototype scopes with built-in LCD LED 1080p 3D Sony technology.
Another awesome Levolution event can be found on the map Discarded. Both sides of the container ship have a section that can be pulled down, and it's supported
blah 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 blah
anything underneath it, including tough vehicles like tanks. This does have a more practical use too though. It will expose the ship and open up new flanking routes inside, so if you need to capture the flags on top, try this to explore a new tactical opportunity. Vehicles make their way into the city, pay close attention to the built-up areas of sand here. It appears that these vehicles are leaving tracks in the sand in real time. This could be our first look at the terrain deformation that DICE mentioned at the reveal event. A few moments later we see the new physics system in action as this tank rolls over a collapsed vehicle. Notice how the drive sprocket at the back rotates and all of the road wheels and track accurately move and conform to the shape of the object beneath it. Great attention to detail there. Two forms of sprinting in this game. A normal sprinting speed as seen here, that's your typical run animation, notice how the gun stays down, and then a quicker burst of speed as seen here where the gun goes up into the air. Perhaps DICE have adopted a similar system to the Modern Warfare tactical sprint, allowing players to have a short dash from cover to cover. As we saw in the reveal trailer, the huge tornado that forms on the level does indeed drag objects, players and vehicles towards it. The Osprey type vehicle known in game as the Condor gets dragged towards it in dramatic fashion. Pay close attention though and you'll see a player entering it too, the absolute mad lad, confirming that there are short enter vehicle animations in the game. In another part of the trailer we see a quad bike falling from the sky, players stuck inside it with their parachutes and this unfortunate bird who flew too close to the sun. Pay close attention though and you'll see a player entering it too, the absolute mad lad. Interestingly, when we see the perspective of a player on the ground nearby the tornado, their user interface starts to glitch and one of their hands goes up in the air, insinuating that when you're too close to it, you won't be able to aim down the sights of your weapon and be relegated to hipfire only.
This fucking game is so stupid! Your concussions design is the most pathetic design in any shooter game. It's so pathetic. It's so childish. It's designed for 7-year-old kids, right? It's literally designed for 7-year-old kids. Get it out of Blackout. Get it out of Battle Royale. It doesn't belong here. The way it's designed, it just doesn't belong here. It's not meant for the big boys, right? This little skinny kid who's probably 11 years old with blonde bangs in front of his eyes, loose gut, right? Wearing jean shorts, New Balance shoes, Velcroed because he still doesn't know how to tie them, right? Using his mommy's credit card to buy this game. He gets away with that kill. And it pisses me off, Vonderhaar. You got to get rid of these concussions. You got to do something immediately. I'm telling you right now, I don't want this game to die. And it could die here literally in the next week or two unless you change the concussions. Get rid of them. Or allow me to ADS, right?
There's a short snippet in the trailer later on where we see fighting inside of the stadium. The pistol here is a unique gadget for the specialist Maria Falk. It's a Surette pistol that allows her to revive fallen teammates from afar, and it can be loaded with 6 shots in total. Here we see a specialist walking forwards with a riot shield. That's new. Also in the same shot we see a player who's firing from behind a deployable cover. As this player enters the elevator to move to the roof of the building, they take a break to inspect their weapon and use the new plus system. This will allow you to change weapon attachments on the fly while your boot's on the ground.
Maximum strength.
As you can see, the options with this loadout are a suppressor, compensator, different sights, magazines and grips. DICE explained that you can change ammo type in some of these weapons, which will affect rate of fire, bullet speed, damage and more. And while we're here, let's take a look at the heads up display as there are some changes. Capture points and ticket counts have moved from the top of the screen to above and below the minimap. You can see the health of your squad mates here too. The specialist that we're looking at here is Sundance. They've got the wingsuit as their unique passive trait. This replaces the parachute and allows them to glide around the level. Back to Sundance's HUD though. On the bottom right we can see weapons and equipment.
But I'm not done yet. Grass stains, clay stains. The longer you let it set, the easier it is.
If you want to quickly figure out what fire mode your weapon has selected, you can use the information on the crosshair in the middle of your screen to figure it out. It's quite simple. A normal 4-part crosshair means that you're in full auto. A 3-part crosshair with the top removed is single fire. And a 4-part crosshair with broken lines or dashes is burst fire. Nice and easy to remember. It's quite simple. If you're having trouble hitting vehicles far away from you with the M5 rocket launcher, the scope of the weapon has accurate mil dots and reference marks to line up your shots perfectly. What I like to do is quickly ping my target and find out how far away they are from me. In this example here, the enemy vehicle is 100 meters away, so I use the top and center line to aim there where it says 1 for a successful hit. Moving further away though to 200 meters, we use the second line with the 2 next to it to arc the rocket in. That's a good hit. While we're on this topic too, it's interesting to note that bullets can travel extreme distances in this game. Here we can see a target 2,000 meters away on the biggest map, Breakaway. And with a well-placed shot, it is possible to take out enemies with a 1-bullet headshot this far away from you. The engine will simulate the bullet going that far. Notice when the player aims down the sight, a compass appears at the bottom of the screen. Could be useful for calling out enemy positions quickly, although there's no video footage or information yet on if the pinger location system will return like the one that featured in Battlefield 5. You get to see a couple of new vehicles. In the distance here is a white pickup truck, suggesting that there are civilian transport vehicles on the map that can be utilised. The tuk-tuk feature too, of course. On the left here is the E6 Jaeger Recon. a heavily armoured combat vehicle strapped with weapons and technology. This is probably based off the real-life French EBRC Jaguar. We got to see how the vehicle airdrop system works too. Players can call in vehicles to any location, and they do this by using a tablet. In this case, they called in a tank, and yes, you can crush enemies with it. Another standout moment in the trailer was the specialist Webster McKay using their unique grappling hook gadget to reach a higher location. They swing up there and then we can see a takedown. If you're the person doing the takedown, this is a third-person animation. Irish's armor shield can stop vehicles like hovercrafts dead in their tracks, exposing them for some easy explosive damage.
Hill contested. Hill contested. Hill contested.
Also, we messed around a bit with Dozer's shield and discovered that there is no projectile currently in the game that can penetrate it. Tank shells don't work. Rockets from helicopters, nope, it can withstand them all. Rao is quite an interesting specialist too that's often overlooked. He can hack almost anything in the game. If you hack enemy players and kill them. Animals are no stranger to Battlefield games, from rats to birds in the sky and sharks in the ocean. However, there are a couple of new additions in BF 2042. On the renewal map, there's a room full of red butterflies, which I assume are engaging in their own battlefield of cross-pollination. Penguins too, including some adorable chicks. They're just so fluffy. Back on the breakaway map, we can find several blue whale skeletons on the beaches. I've done a bit of research on this, and apparently it's a common sight in the Antarctic. And this is because of the harsh weather conditions here. Animal remains and skeletons are often washed ashore by glacial changes and are well preserved because of the environment. Looking down into the ice, we can distinguish the different layers of it and the cracks inside of it, giving a real sense of depth. You'll also hear the strange sounds of the ice cracking and shifting underneath the surface. This is not a made-up sound effect either, and it happens in real life on frozen lakes and large bodies of ice. Another cool sound effect is how the breathing of your character is tied to their movement speed. For example, if you sprint, your character will breathe heavier and practice different breathing techniques as they go. After stopping, they will exhale heavily as they recover. Listen up. The air movement created by the blades actually affects foliage and trees that are nearby. It's directional too and dependent on the position of the chopper. There's some nice physics happening here. They'll also kick up dirt on the ground too, changing the lighting and visibility in that area. Explosions and tank shots can have an impact on light physics objects too. Notice how when this tank fires its main cannon, the blast affects everything around it, including small clumps of grass. Wildcat here is a monstrous armoured vehicle. It's great against infantry and vehicles, especially helicopters, but the main cannon has got a cool little effect. If you fire it, you can see the shell casings being ejected out of the side here, and they are little physics objects that interact with the world around you. Could be looking at real-time ray traced reflections here on the ice for the character model and hovercraft. The tornado that can turn up during one of your matches is a very impressive visual effect, especially at 4K Ultra. It's full of debris, lightning strikes, and it will pick players and most vehicles up and throw them if they're in its path. It has different visual effects too at the bottom for whatever surface it's currently travelling on. For example, when on the ground, it will pick up a load of dirt, but when on water, you will see it collecting and disturbing water in its path.
This might be hard to believe, but are you aware that nobody gives a shit?
I would love to have seen more gunplay in there too. You don't really get much of that at all. And after all, the majority of the players in the server will be boots on the ground with a gun.
Hey, I can call in a Osprey or something in 10 seconds. You guys ready to respawn? I can't drive this thing.
Well, I did just die. I mean, I kind of want to play this map on the ground a little bit because we were in the air for so long.
Yeah, let's do some ground stuff.
Guess I'll try to.
Yeah, we were in the air for so long. This map actually seems pretty fun. Across the board, I feel like you get a lot of stuff here. A lot of sniping, a lot of CQC, depending on where you play. Yeah. Vehicles seem fun. Those giant zip lines.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you flying the Osprey? Z is how you go like.
Sectors are now under our control.
What the?
Do not come to me.
Enemy forces control Sector Echo.
Trying to spawn on Ann? No. Oh, I'm dead. Man.
Stay back. I'll fix myself.
Fuck it. We're going back. Flying is just way more fun than anything else, to be honest. That's how it always is in Battlefield games, though.
What is it? It's beautiful.
Which way? Get out of there!
Finally, the C5 explosive has a simple display on it, and every time that you press the detonate button, it will show you a message. You can deplete all of your explosives and keep pressing the button though to cycle through the random messages. There's all sorts here, and it makes me wonder if there's a super rare one that no one has found yet. And that's it for now. There are loads more details in this game that we haven't mentioned or are yet to be discovered. We were playing this at 4K Ultra graphics using an RTX 3090 graphics card alongside DLSS and NVIDIA Reflex technology, simply enabled in the menus. Also, this video took me ages to put together, so if you enjoyed it, do consider leaving a like below and sharing the video. I hope you have a great day, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, this video took me ages to put together.
Looks so good. Yo, so you won't believe the week I just had. Listen, I copped the all white Margielas. I got a foreign, and she ain't born. You feel me? It's a BMW, by the way. Listen, she got big titties. She got a big ass. You feel me? Yo, I can't wait for you to meet this girl. This is the best week I've ever had. Probably the best week of summer.
I wonder if he know that I know he's lying right now. Oh, you got the new Margellas? That's what's up, that's what's up. I see you. That's your BMW? That's nice. That's your girl? Golly. Okay, I see you. But I just want to know one thing. You ready? Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me. Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying. Ooh, it's almost like you faking. Oh yeah, yeah, I know you're lying, but you sound excited, and you know that I know that you lying. Oh girl,
Cue the rain. I got you. The rain, yeah. Turn on. A little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah.
I'ma keep on lying to you.
Yeah.
Until you think it's the truth.
Yeah.
Now, girl, I know you fibbing. Ooh, you know you can't help it. You know what I wanna know.
Agility can also help you out in difficult moments. But why place yourself under undue stress?
Whilst I understand that many people don't watch my live streams or live stream VODs, to say that I'm only saying positive things about the game, ignoring the issues and can't be critical or share my real opinions because of some imaginary contract are ridiculous.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm literally showing bugs and providing feedback and criticism in the sponsored streams. I'm going to repeat that. All of the clips that you just saw were from sponsored streams. At least do some research and watch my content first. That's all I'm asking.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
I think it's a good base to start with. There's a lot of bugs though, a lot of glitches. Hopefully they get those fixed ASAP. Some lag with the servers. When you zoom in as well, the frame rate goes so low. Like, it just feels horrible with the high power zoom scopes. Like, it drops like 10 FPS. Ugh. It needs a lot of optimization, man. Oh, man, it actually feels so awful. I'm sorry. I know it probably sounds like I'm throwing excuses out, but aiming is just horrible. It's just the optimization's not great right now for the game. Like, frame rate's quite low here. Like, look at that, top left. Gives you a lot of like micro stuttering and inconsistency in the mouse movement. As I said, I'm sure they'll optimize it. I hope so anyway. It should be a priority, I think. The main problem for me on PC is performance. I think that needs addressing. I have some issues with the UI as well, in the menus and in the game. Like, this UI needs a massive improvement. There's so many clicks you have to make. You should just be able to click here. Like, if I wanted to customize that site there, for example, my brain says, you can click this. You can't. You have to go site, and then you can change it. And then you have to go back. I don't think I've hated a vehicle more in a Battlefield game than these stupid hovercrafts. Like, the problem with the hovercraft is that it's armored, it's got a smoke escape, it's quick, it's got an anti-infantry grenade launcher, it's got also anti-vehicle weapons if you want. It takes no damage to minigun fire, and also, me personally, I fired plenty of rocket shots at hovercraft, and they just dust. They don't do any damage. My progression doesn't track in Portal Team Deathmatch. Yeah, they disabled it for now, Donovan, because people were making XP farming servers. But they need to figure out a solution to this, because they promised that you could have progression on Portal, and it's been disabled for the last 2 or 3 days. So, you know, they need to come up with a solution pretty quick.
Yeah.
Try and
So
rest.
did I, but it wasn't by a sniper.
Oh, that's a really bad bug as well. When people are dead near walls, you can't revive them. It's just behind that tree. You got me. Thank you. Oh, third person mode. That's bugged. I'm back. They're hiding in this golf ball there. See what happened then as well? It's very small, but I ADS'd and I have toggle ADS on, right? So when I right click once, it should stay aimed in. It unzoomed me. That's happened several times tonight, so I think that's a bug as well. Oh, that bug's still in the game where enemies can change, sorry, friendlies can change to enemies. It happened once yesterday with a vehicle as well. Like, I was trying to take out a helicopter and I was like, why isn't this taking any damage? And I realized that that bug can also apply to vehicles. I think a lot of these people fixated on the insane details video that I posted and just looked at that out of context. This video was posted after 2 of those YouTube streams that you've just seen some clips from and was sponsored by Nvidia, a company that makes graphics cards, and this was agreed 3 months ago. It's the typical type of video that I usually make when a new Battlefield game releases, looking at cool details in the game, some Easter eggs, mini Levolution moments, myth busting, etc. It's the kind of video that I really enjoy creating. The talking points in this sponsored video are using DLSS technology at 4K ultra settings and Nvidia Reflex. The sponsored messaging in it has nothing to do with DICE and EA, and it's clearly not a review of the game or a comparison to older games. It's okay to appreciate good and bad parts of a product, especially in art forms like video
this guy
games.
got away with canning shit, his own shit, into the art world and let it pass as an art piece. That legitimizes all my activities, so I could be free after Manzoni's shit can. At the same time, it's an interesting contrast because people love to compare my machine, my cloaca, with Manzoni, but it is also so different. Manzoni, in a way, is a 19th century artist, very 19th century artist. Why? Because he took something from himself, his breath or his shit, and he said, look, I'm an artist, and because I'm an artist, this is art too. This is what I
Focusing on
created.
interesting
So this
details in a
shit is
piece of
art.
content doesn't mean that you're ignoring problems in others, and ultimately I can create whatever I want on my own channel.
He's got some fire to him. Honey cups. I like that.
Are you trying to tell me making a video on Battlefield 2042, reviewing the details in said game, a game made by DICE EA mind you, isn't reviewing Battlefield 2042 and has absolutely nothing to do with DICE EA or their recently released game, Battlefield 2042? EA, right? The same company that rams their Frostbite engine down your throat on every game they release because that's all they have to show for, talking about how graphically superior their games are. That EA? You honestly think people won't form comparisons between details listed in your video based on past games? Am I hearing that correctly? You know, just because you didn't do a comparison video,
And it's definitely
per se,
going to appeal to old school Battlefield fans who enjoyed games like BF2 and BF3.
doesn't mean others won't create connections to previous titles, especially when you hype that shit up to your millions of followers.
There are a load of other crazy details in this game.
First off, can we stop with
Obligations
the
for those
empty
streams
thread
was
of,
to play the game for 4 hours in total. I could have sat there in silence and just played it if I wanted to.
I'll fucking do it. You're basically saying, I can just stream, insert game title, and not interact with my followers and still get paid since I'm sponsored. I don't know if you realize that's what you're saying, but that is exactly what you're saying. Imagine making a video explaining how you aren't in it for the money and then nuking it at the end with that comment. Anyway, the point is, none of these criticisms you had of the game are valid, besides the hovercraft argument. Although, vehicles being broken is nothing new to Battlefield. You basically just criticized every PC game since the beginning of time. These complaints, if you didn't tell me you were talking about Battlefield 2042, I could have mistaken it for Cyberpunk 2077. Unoptimized, shit UI, bugs, and lag. Maybe you forgot about the Battlefield 4 launch game state.
EA boss Andrew Wilson has branded the troubled launch of Battlefield 4 as unacceptable, while also stressing developer DICE has learned a valuable lesson, so it shouldn't happen again.
Again, nothing new. As for bugs,
You're certified bug-free. Bug-free.
Shit, Victor, not bad. I don't know what to say.
Say you'll take this and remember the dosage. 2 whips now, and another 2 in an hour.
it's safe to say they're here to stay. This isn't 20 plus years ago, when video game companies were expected to come out with a finished product. That ship has long since sailed. Now it's pay full price for a chopped up, unfinished product, and they'll think about selling you the rest throughout the coming years. Also, who gives a shit if people are XP farming for unlocks? Nobody cares about someone's internet points, or the JPEG image next to their name. You claim to have been with the franchise for over a decade, but you don't know vehicles are overpowered. Vehicles have always been unbalanced. Vehicles are just in the game for players who are bad and need extra help winning. The fact is, vehicles have always been Battlefield's handicap mechanic. Every game has it, designed to help players with shortcomings boost their stats and essentially feel good about themselves. There are plenty of games that are strictly vehicle-only combat, although people choose to play Battlefield solely for its vehicle gameplay. Why? Maybe because it's like being in a chopper gunner before the entire fucking game. As for the UI, I haven't seen a decent UI in a PC game ever. It's almost like they're incapable of creating one. Some sort of anomaly that just comes with the platform. Even take games that are ported from consoles, which have amazing UIs, to the PC where they manage to completely destroy the original UI. It's honestly impressive how bad PC UI developers are at their job. It's classic top-down game design. They're too busy making it look cool, rather than making it function practically. Your main complaints are based on optimization, poor UI, bugs, and lag. The only known fact that every single PC player knows they're going to get after purchasing a game. This is nothing new. Everyone knew the game was going to have performance issues when it came out, and I'm going to go out on a leg here and bet that the next game, when it comes out, is going to have the exact same problem. Nobody gives a shit about you taking sponsors. People are upset about the game as a whole, and tend to suspect someone for being in it for the money, when that someone is selling out, promoting garbage, while glazing over all the reoccurring problems the series has had for a decade now. Remember, you don't have to take that sponsor. There are plenty of content creators that don't take sponsors because they don't want to subject their audience to what they know is trash. It's disingenuous. On the other hand, there are creators that do the very opposite of that. It just depends on the type of person you want to be. Just don't be surprised when people call you out on it. Let's be honest, you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. Battlefield 2042 is nothing special. It's just more copy-paste with old features that in most cases are better implemented in past titles. The game has zero innovation while still bringing back numerous unfun mechanics. Although, what I find hysterical, there are old features of the franchise that were good, but DICE just refuses to bring those types of features back. Pretty ironic.
Wrapping up, as I said in the feedback video after the day one patch where I spelt out all of my issues with BF 2042, the game clearly isn't finished in its current state and it should not have launched like this. I hope that you can get a refund if you bought the game and feel let down by it. I feel sorry for the developers, and there's obviously a problem with the studio or the publisher that they didn't choose to delay to a later date or get good hands-on feedback or mass testing on the current state of the game. I've seen several people attacking and throwing insults at developers on their personal accounts, and the same people then complain when developers never respond.
I don't feel bad at all for the developers. How many times are they gonna fuck up until they remember how to make a good game? It's been over a decade of pure shit, and consumers are still supporting it.
Wake the fuck up.
I don't care if some developer got their feelings hurt over someone calling them an idiot on an online forum. Sometimes people have to hear the hard truth. If you do something stupid, I'm going to call you stupid. Simple. It's called negative reinforcement, and it works. Because clearly, positive reinforcement isn't working for these developers. Oh, you fucked up again, Johnny. This is the 5th time. Don't worry, you'll get them next time. Gives them a little pat on the back and continues to praise them. Good job on the art, and good job on the graphics, and good job on the audio, and good... Enough. The developers are terrible, and they need to know they're terrible. Period. Listen, you gotta take your punches and suck it up. Nobody forced you to take these sponsors. You did that on your own accord. You chose to promote and support trash. You got called out on it. You even promoted hardware that you knew didn't work for you, on your top-of-the-line PC nonetheless. How do you think it's gonna run on some mediocre or worse rig? And no, saying
you may or may not see a big performance jump at 1080p or 1440p resolution
doesn't get you off the hook. You can try to make yourself look like the victim, and you can try the high road approach. Just know, nobody besides your cult following is buying this rebuttal. At the end of the day, we do agree on one thing.
As a community, I think we
must
can do better.
You should take yourself up on that advice.
I won't stop you.
I know.
What? No, father!
I love you.
Why do you even care? You could have walked away.
The cycle ends here. Must be better than this.
No, my boy! My dear sweet boy!
Freya. He chose this.
I will rain down every agony, every violation imaginable upon you. I will parade your cold body from every corner of every realm and feed your soul to the vilest filth in hell. That is my promise.
He saved your
wallet.
He robbed me of everything.